So we join back in with our adventurers after last week. Eleni and Volu were set upon by some thugs that they didn't recognize, but demanded that they went to speak with a Madam Oracle. Eleni's quick thinking, even though Volu went down, managing to escape over a back alley fence, just as Ichi arrived after a pleasant evening of carousing and chatting and seeing the city. The group managed to get together, and we join them now as they are regrouping in the lower downstairs dining room of the Bloody Banner. Ichi, Eleni, and Volu are in like a corner booth. They've got Volu some water and set up. For Dante, you've been taking a lovely stroll up through the Crucible. You know, you've had a good night. You've not got too crazy with it because you had a purpose to your carousing. But would enter the Bloody Banner, very quickly be able to pick out Ichi and the others. And at first it would just look like, oh, you know, you've had a rough night as well. You know, Volu's sort of like half slumped on the table as Eleni's like, you know, trying to get him to drink some water. But as you get closer, you would notice cuts and bruising and more what looks like fighting than drinking.
So talkative.
So Dante will walk over, just like look over. What did you do?
A mutual friend got in contact with them. Or at least tried to.
Did they say it was it for him? Looks over at Eleni.
They wanted our friend Clovis here. They wanted us both to go and speak to their boss, and they weren't up for taking no for an answer.
Yes. Sounds like him.
But I believe what we've discussed is that tomorrow we are going to go and, on our own terms, have a conversation. Rather than let them send their thugs to go and bring us in.
One thing you will remember from last session, Beecham, and for Ichi, they didn't look like Madam Oracle's usual.
No, yeah, they are
thugs.
like
They were...
hired thugs.
Who is Madam Oracle?
The one we spoke to in
That is the bugbear.
Oh, I thought that was a guy.
I thought it was a guy as well. Yeah, apparently not.
Oh, right.
I
Totally
mean,
got it.
I think they are, if I remember rightly, they were described as being androgynous. But yes, because obviously you were working for Dr. X originally.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do? Looks over at Ichi.
Tomorrow, in our own time, we'll head over. Tonight, I'm going to go and speak to them and let them know that we're coming on our own terms. Call off the thugs, and we will be there tomorrow.
Do you need me?
What's he going to do if they don't like that?
Persuade them.
Yeah, I'll simply talk. If they don't like what I have to say, well, I'm already there, so they can take it out on me. Considering I'm the one who, in the first place, works for them, but I can't imagine they will... I can't imagine they'll dislike it so much. If anything, it just saves them some extra cost, because the bounty hunters they probably hired probably getting paid on completion of service rather than outright.
What are we actually going to do, though? I mean, what do they want Clovis for?
Probably to make sure that you haven't actually stolen the item. Everything I said, they obviously trusted from our point of view, but they probably just want to get a read on both myself and Clovis so they can, at some point, call us in to complete our debt as they have with me.
I don't like the idea of being indebted to these people.
We're indebted regardless, by their opinion. These aren't people who you can just simply, believe me, I tried. You can simply say no to. At some point, they will ask. And at that point, we can decide whether or not we follow through with it. It's just obviously then we may have an issue.
I take it we
But
can't
seeing
just
as we
pay them
don't,
off.
it's not that simple, I don't think. And I don't think the value of the item we have, well, had, is something we can afford. So we might as well at least try and keep the ball in our court, go on our terms, try and curry good favour. As I've already had a conversation with them, at least me going in and saying, I'll bring them in willingly. It'll let them know that we don't mean to run. Especially as Ichi, not Ichi, I'm Ichi. Hello! As Volu said earlier, we don't exactly want to leave the city just yet. Dante, you can come if you wish, but
I shall come.
I'll get us some rooms and then we can continue looking after Clovis.
Clovis.
But I'm messing up all names today.
I mean, I think they know where we were staying. They were asking for us at the Rust Bucket.
The Rusty Bucket. Yeah.
To be clear on that as well, Eleni, they weren't actually asking at the Rusty Bucket, if you remember. They were currently...
They were at Dana's, weren't they?
They were at Dana's, so they knew at least
yeah.
where you were delivering to.
Right, okay.
Well,
I mean, it might be safer for us to go back there tonight. We've got rooms there, but yeah, let's wait and see how this conversation goes, maybe.
wonderful. Ichi will stand, kind of like nod to Dante, and we'll start heading out the door and making my way down to wherever it was that we had this, where we did our drop off, basically.
Downtown.
Downtown.
Okay, so...
This is where we're going. And we'll just go through, just in case.
Okay, telling Eleni where you're going to be.
Just in case they need to meet for any point.
Yeah.
Do I know any kind of like a nice, kind of good, safe, quiet / hidden place if they do get into trouble? Is there anything?
Nothing specific.
Fair enough.
No, I think your best bet would be to head up to the Bastion. You know that the Bastion is the most policed area of the city.
It's quite a long way from here, though, isn't it? I mean, it's
Or-
all the way up the hill.
Or is there anywhere between here and where we're headed that's really lively, because it is still festival season? Because some of the best places to hide is in a very lively place, because people can't do jack to you. Whereas if you're spotted in a hidden area, they can catch you.
Look, worst case scenario, I can do what I did before. I can manage to get Volo out, and I can go invisible. I can make myself really quiet.
I mean, I'd say as well, like, as you're looking, there's not really anything that would be distinctly, like, really, really loud. I mean, the Bloody Banner is not a quiet pub, even now at 7:30, 8. You know, there are people moving around. A waitress hasn't been to your table yet out of not being able to be, just because it's quite busy and loud in here. You have been able to have your conversations in a quiet corner. But in any of the taverns would suffice.
I think we'll be okay. Thank you, though.
And Dante will follow Ichi.
Here
Okay.
we go.
As you two step out of the Bloody Banner and out into the square, you can see the large, almost overhanging building of the ruins from the Colosseum. And as you're sort of looking over towards the east, where you know you need to head, rain begins to fall. There's a few drops. It is like, and it's rare for rain, and you would notice that as the rain starts to fall, people do start to sort of put buckets out and put things out to collect the rain. There are things that are naturally there. While you know that there hasn't really been there isn't really rain shortages like that, water shortages like there used to be due to the quite large use of magic around. However, it is still common tradition in a lot of these areas to still collect your own water and use that before you tap any other resource. So the rain
We're on the edge of a desert, aren't we?
this you are. This is like the edge of, and you are the desert side of the mountains. A cool.
From memory, don't both sides of the mountains have deserts, or am I?
No. So if you look on the map that I've put you on at the minute,
There is a
this-
desert on the other side, but not next
this
to
is
where we
yes, yes. This is Cadfessi. A cool breeze comes in off the evening desert air, and you begin to make your way through the streets. Is there anything or any order that you are specifically taking as you head this way?
No, but Dante's gonna keep a lookout for anyone who might be watching, like who could be either, in the shadows or whatever. He's gonna actively be doing that. So can I roll perception?
Yeah. Give me a perception.
Anything is better than my passive. So roll 16, so 15.
Okay. And Lychee.
Similar kind of thing of like trying to be aware of their surroundings. But they're mainly like they're obviously going where we're going, but yeah, gonna just keep an eye on sorry, I keep saying Ichi, that's me. If Dante is keeping an eye on like the shadows and alleyways, I'm gonna keep an eye on the rooftops. Just make sure.
Okay. Can you give me a perception as well, please?
What's okay? 11. Not great.
Yeah,
Okay.
my perception was better than yours. No.
So the rain begins to pick up and the darkness begins to overhang. You notice many lanterns being lit on buildings and people sort of pulling up their cloaks to move by. And as you're going Ichi, there's not much. You are there. It's not that there's no movement on the roofs and such. There are people moving up there, but it's a lot of like, oh, that guy's putting up decorations for the festival, or that shop owner's cleaning the windows on the upper level, or it's not like suspicious from what you can tell. Dante, as you begin to move deeper, you do notice a distinct increase in not necessarily people eyeing you, but people that you want to keep an eye on. So it's like you pass a corner and there's just three guys that are just sat on the corner, and one of them looks at you a little bit too long as you pass him. And you sort of, you the sort of things that to show your sword, and like that's enough for a random street thug, but you notice that you are getting deeper and deeper into shadier areas of the city. As you're passing Ichi, you just walk straight past and don't really notice. You're passing an alleyway, and Dante, you hear like what at first sounds like a yell, like a high-pitched yell. But as you sort of stop and look, you notice it's a whining dog. And you look down the alleyway, you can't see any dogs, but you can see the back of two youngish figures. They don't seem to be full adult height. But you can just see the back of two figures further down the alleyway, but you can hear this whining.
They better not be behind that.
Dante stops at that and just like looks down. Doesn't necessarily say anything to Ichi, and then just walks off towards the alleyway.
So say Ichi, the 11 doesn't notice the stop, but you notice the footsteps heading like almost the change in
Away.
direction, and so you would sort of look back as you see him heading down the alleyway. Dante, as you're getting closer, you can hear like go on then. What if he bites me? What if we've got a guard dog? Then the guys can't take our stuff anymore. And you can like hear this like conferring and the whining. And as you're getting closer, you can see that it seems to be 2 or 3 teenagers. There's a tiefling, a halfling, and a Goliath. They look very scruffy. They don't look like they're in full dress. You know, there's like holes in the clothes and all that sort of stuff. The Goliath is currently holding a large stick with like a hoop rope tied at the end of it. And as you get closer, you can see currently tucked full into the back corner is that large grey scruffy dog that you had seen previously around this area.
And it's cowering.
And it seems like as you're getting closer, you can tell that. And are you approaching subtly at all?
No.
Okay, so as you're approaching, the halfling would like you notice the halfling notices you, but doesn't say anything and just like
Yeah, I don't stop. I don't even stop to them. I'm walking through them, and then I'm gonna turn like look at.
So as you get a bit closer, the Goliath will sort of like, hey, this is our dog. Back up. Give me an intimidation to see if they are going to try and fully check you.
I'd love to see this, honestly. Can't see what my intimidation is. Oh, yeah, it's a +3. 21.
Oh, nice.
So I physically do not stop.
Like, yeah, and they just move to the side as you get closer. As they sort of step out of your way and you just move past them, you would hear them like the halfling's like, well done, now he's gonna take the dog. And like there's like
I'm going to crouch down first, and because I've still got those sandwiches, unless I happen to like.
Not unless you think you've eaten them or
No. I deliberately kept it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to kneel down towards the dog and break a bit of a sandwich off and just kind of like throw it towards it, kind of thing.
Give me an animal handling.
With advantage, because sandwich.
I would like.
No, that is cancelling out the disadvantage of fear.
Oh. Then 7.
They as you sort of like, so as you're getting closer, they're whimpering, but then as you sort of try to put the bread forward, they go to growl and they actually move to snap. They don't actually attack at you, but they snap in your direction and back away again.
Then what I'll do is I'll just throw some down a little bit, say like closer towards where it is, and then I'm going to stand up and turn around and just stare at these kids.
Ichi's now like at the end of the alleyway, like not getting involved, like not approaching to be like a pincer maneuver, but you know, is at least kind of like letting their presence be known.
This is your dog.
No, it's a stray, but we were gonna look.
Leave.
The thugs always take our house. We don't have anywhere. Look, we need something to protect us.
Leave.
Well, the halfling like suddenly again like tugs at the Goliath's shirt and is just like, "Come on, we should go." Like that, and again noticing Ichi approaching is like, "We should go." And they begin to move away. The Goliath keeps eyes on Dante. I'd say Dante, give me an insight. They're like giving you a glare down at the minute.
4.
Yeah, you're just like trying to be tough, and they sort of back out the alleyway, and then this turn and like sprint. Each you would see them sprint like they sprint deeper into the area you are currently going, rather than away from it.
Okay.
And then he's going to turn around and crouch down.
Towards,
he's not moving towards the dog.
As you give me a perception as you're turning back around.
Oh, 17. Range of rolls here.
Okay, so as you're turning around to like look to where the dog isn't there anymore. and you like, and as you're like, like you know that like shit, it's gone. You feel like a tug at your belt as the other sandwich that was sticking out is snatched from the belt with a nat 20 for a 26. And then the dog bolts straight down the alleyway, full speed, past Ichi, past you, and across and into another, away. You can give chase, and you can see it, but like it wouldn't make it out of sight in one movement.
There's
But-
no point in me, right? As long as he's got food now, and he's no
Yeah.
longer in danger. So he will just kind of be like, he'll actually crack a smile. Clever boy. Actually, hang on. Don't know, do I? I'm just gonna be like, clever dog.
Okay.
And then just going to just return towards Ichi.
As you start to walk towards Ichi, that 17 is still prevailing. You have your sword on your right, on your probably your left side. So your sword's on your back, don't you? Yeah. So normally you have a dagger on your belt. That is not there anymore.
I've got a dagger in my shoe.
Well, they wouldn't have taken that dagger, but the dagger that you have on your like your cutting knife, it's not even like a, it's for freeing yourself when you caught up and all those sorts of things. That is gone. As well as 5 gold and 2 silver.
Remember where gold is on this? Where gold? Okay, fair enough.
To be fair, actually looking at your thing, do you think it would actually more be a hand axe on your belt than because you've got 2 hand axes and a dagger? Is the dagger in the boot and the hand
The
axe
dagger's
on
always
the
in
belt?
the boot, so yeah, take a hand out.
Okay, so one of your hand axes is gone.
Oh, I forgot I had those, to be fair.
And you don't need any roll to surmise
The dog
which
stole it.
which which little fuckers took those.
Actually, not bothered by that. Like, I mean,
I
say,
didn't know. Obviously, it's entirely up to you, but you would notice. You sort of like where you sometimes rest your hand is like on the head of the axe that just isn't there now.
yeah. So I'm gonna be like, oh, the only thing I'll do is I'll look when I realise and go, and just kind of walk over towards Ichi, and just go. Kids shouldn't abuse animals.
Each will kind of like pat Dante on the shoulder. Couldn't agree more.
You
Onwards.
begin to head further down and further into the areas before eventually coming upon the mechanic's store. Again, the sign completely faded past any recognition of an actual store name, and currently all the shutters are down and it seems to be closed.
I'll go to the side door that we were taken into.
That is actually, so that's not accessible. If you imagine that the side door was into the garage, so if you imagine the shutters go down in front of the garage, you would have to step in and left to go into that door.
Ichi's just gonna on the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a look around. Like, I might even walk maybe 15 feet from where Ichi is, just in any direction, just to kind of see if there's any people around. Is there anyone kind of loitering?
Give me a
I'm looking
perception.
like a guard for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my rolls are good. 18.
Okay. You definitely pick up a few curtain twitches. And then you hit. So again, Ichi, you're just sort of waiting. Dante, you hear like almost what sounds like stone sliding on stone from the left alleyway down the side of the building. And as you sort of
Like a
move
dragging
and
noise.
Yeah, like a. And as you sort of move to look, you would see the orc Goro, who nods and motions for you to make it down that way. They're currently just like poking their head out of the side of a wall.
Ichi.
Yes.
Don't know where my voice went about that.
Yeah.
But
Wonderful. Each will head that way.
You move round, and again for Dante, there are certain ones of those curtain twitches that don't twitch back until you have fully passed and moved away. You definitely could tell if it's not some of the locals, at least some of the local buildings are procured for this purpose. You would be able to make your way round and down the side alley, and as you come to the wall, it's literally, more like a Diagon Alley in Harry Potter, where it looks like the bricks have folded themselves apart rather than it being a standard door that slides. And they motion through, and just through you can see that same back room that you entered previously when you walked through. The same set of guys sat around the table playing cards. You would see, boss.
Yes, in regards to the other name on that piece of paper.
Fair enough. Like nod you in.
Each will step in. What was the individual's name?
Goro.
So Goro's the one on the door.
Joyce, yeah. So Goro was the orc that you were told to have contact with if you needed to. Well, there also he would contact you if once the favor was required. I would say as you enter, you would notice Goro cast something, but I'd say both of you recognize casting with an item rather than casting through magical knowledge. But they seem to sort of cast something and touch their eye and look up and down the alleyway before motioning a hand and the wall, folding the bricks back together.
A little bit of see invisibility, make sure no, we're not being tailed or anything.
I was just about to say, can I do Arcana?
You don't really even need to roll that along that flavor. I see invisibility, detect. You don't know which one exactly because you didn't hear, because it's from an item. You don't hear any words or anything. But there was definitely, could have been a detect evil, could have been detect a person.
Just detect magic, just to see any
I
auras.
hope there's not detect evil.
Yeah. Detect good. That'd be more what they're looking for. There's no angels tracing these motherfuckers.
They haven't just got the police waiting outside.
Yeah. But yes, you enter in, and Goro sort of says, they're speaking to someone right now. Drink, take a seat if you want. They sort of motion over towards like two sort of, they look old and lumpy, but if you do choose to seat, they are still fairly comfortable. And again, for each, you get the feeling that this group spend a lot of time in here. If this isn't main base of operations, it's definitely a permanent fix that they use.
Looking around, is there many people in here?
So there's the four at the table.
Is there anybody who looks like they've probably been in a bit of a scrap tonight? Because
no one in here looks even remotely injured. And again, Dante, for you. So I think both of you give me an insight. You see if you can pick up on those subtle.
18.
Nice.
Seriously, all my wisdom, besides animal handling, all my wisdom rolls have been great. Bear in mind they're all -1.
I also got an 18, 15 plus 3.
Nice. Okay, so both of you, Ichi, it's more new for you, but obviously in the past year, you've had to deal with a few of these groups now. For Dante, not necessarily a voice in your head, but sometimes there is information that you're not sure why you know it. It's just sort of something tells you that is the case, and in the past, it has generally been true. You both think that the four sat at the table are hired to be here. They are this building, because also you know that this building is not just a base of operations, it is functioning as something else. So you think that those four are this building's protection, whereas Doro works for Oracle more directly, you would say. Goro seems like a bodyguard, right-hand person.
Mm-hmm.
Wonto.
Yeah, but obviously a lot stronger. And you're sort of, you again, from your, because when you worked with Dr. X, so Dr. X is obviously down in Clearpool. They are very classic thug group, right? Like they moved in, took over, they, got all the other gangs under thumb and rule with an iron fist sort of thing. While being up here and you sort of like, there isn't any one ruling thing, but whoever this person is has their hands in everything from what you've seen so far.
Just out of game. Quite like this person.
But yes, do you take a seat and do you take any drinks?
Yeah, each will take a seat and we'll just have some water.
Dante just remains standing behind Ichi, kind of almost bodyguard-esque.
Okay.
Just like staring at everything and everyone. Not necessarily intimidating. Hopefully it is, but
the four at the table continue playing cards.
can I see if they're cheating?
They don't seem to be. It seems to be a fairly honest game, and also you can see it's not really playing for any major money. They're like, it seems to just be for passing the time more than anything. Maybe 20 minutes that you are sat and stood here before the curtain on the far side flaps open. As it does, before anybody steps out of the darkness, Goro steps up and just, we have visitors, if you wish for discretion. A voice from inside you do hear says, "Thank you, Goro. Exquisite as always." The curtain is moved to the side. Nobody steps out. Nobody that you see, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But Goro very specifically holds it. Pauses a good moment before popping the head in and say, "Madam, the Grundon and the human. Yes. Send them in if they wish to speak." Before they motion back to yourselves and nod your way in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ichi stands and moves to go in.
Dante following.
Naturally.
Okay, and again, you step through into the smoky, hazy space as you recognize from last time. Although different smells, the incense or whatever the smoke seems to be slightly different this time. And the decorations, while still as there's pillows and cushions and drapes, it has almost different theme and vibe to it that's almost giving Dante Andon colors. It's almost like from the other continent, the vibe of it. And again, sat in the center is the very well dressed bugbear, currently holding a cigarette. And again, before you even really step inside, a tray floats forwards, offering each of you a drink.
Can I just say, like, do you know I'm completely ignoring in my head that no matter how many times you say bugbear, I seem to completely ignoring that, and in my head I've got like this big kind of like puffy, smoky kind of coloury room, as you were saying, like pretty much hotboxing type thing. But I'm imagining the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
It's just Alan Rickman.
Yeah. Alan Rickman as a bugbear.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
But yeah, so Gentlemen, how might I help on this fine evening? I was not expecting another visit from you so soon.
No, Ichi will take a drink and take a seat opposite them.
The tray floats in front of Dante. Before floating back to themselves.
Dante would just stand to the side, hands like kind of like in front of him, like that, just next to Dante. Ichi, I am Dante.
Myself and my companion here have recently found and kind of become closely entailed with the other individual on that piece of paper. The one known as Volu that you're looking for?
Oh, well, I mean, this could be useful to us. It might save me a bit of time.
That's actually why I'm here. We're willing to. They're willing to come and speak to you personally, with myself and such in tow. We do just request that it's on our own terms rather than being tracked by any bounty hunters or thugs, really. We would not want to start a possible future relationship on a bad foot. And my companion has sadly become affected by some kind of poison. So if you would give us a day or two for them to recover, and then as soon as they are fully capable and able, we will set up a meeting with you that day. Last thing we want is for you to be interacting with this individual when they are not feeling themselves, as you won't get the full measure of their ability.
This is unfortunate news indeed. I am afraid you are. This news could have come sooner, and it might have been avoided altogether. We have obviously put out the name for the one we are looking for, and we can't always control who picks up the task. Do you know who it was that? I mean, poison. That's
Two individuals, a tabaxi and a tiefling, wasn't it?
They lean into the darkness as they did last time when they spoke sort of out of sight. In this moment, you can each of you give me an investigation to see if you are able to see past the illusion that is
Just saying, my
currently
passive
present.
investigation is 16.
It's still fooled by that.
That's fine, but still just throwing it out. Oh, of course.
Yeah, if the
17.
passive 16 is fooled, then my rolled 14 is nothing.
So 17. Why couldn't I get an 18 for that? That would have been like
Yes.
27.
Still, as and Dante, impressively so. You know this is an illusion. You are not able to see through it, no matter how much you tell your brain. I know the cloth isn't there. You reach out every now and again and sort of touch some of the fabric nearer the wall that's near you, and it feels like it's there. Extremely skilled illusions on this room right now. And they lean back and say, Finch, which of our little and you don't hear a response, but you sort of, yes, okay. Could you please find out for me where they are currently? That would be a dear, thank you. And they lean back as they yeah, I believe the Elgron is the leader of that little thug group. They are effective, but a little heavy-handed at times. We will have a word. They really should understand the necessity of subtlety in our line of work. I do apologize if this has caused any inconvenience.
We gratefully appreciate your apology. It mainly just affected in the way of, rather than any chance of communication being sent forwards, it just kind of turned quite quickly to violence. I understand that they are trying to do their job.
Elgron is quite twitchy, shall we say.
And of course, like I say, we would prefer to start this relationship on a positive rather than a negative on both sides, which is why I've come to you tonight to inform you that we do wish to have this conversation. Last thing I would like is for you to be feeling like you're being kept in the dark, even though that seems like this is your preferred mode of light.
Well, sometimes a little mood lighting is necessary, but I do appreciate it, and you are an interesting bunch. I might have something for that favor very soon. As they're speaking and as you're sort of listening, the curtain moves and Goro appears. So I'd say for both of you, you pick up urgency but not panic. They're not like flustered, but there is like as they just appear and madam, we need to leave. Sorry, gentlemen, our meeting is over. As you sort of look back through the curtain, the four at the table are standing, pulling weapons and moving to the doors. And Goro sort of looks at you both and says, "We must be quick. I can exit you through a side exit."
Wonderful. Is there anywhere in particular that you would like us to meet you elsewhere? Because if this pace is compromised, we wouldn't want anything to be tracked back.
There's like a soft chuckle as Madam Oracle says, no, dear, no place is compromised for long. I will contact you at the Bloody Banner, yes?
Of course. Thank you very much. And like I say, we will be over as soon as our companion is ready and able.
I will send you an address in the morning. Goro, if you can show our friends out. They start casting, and you would notice they start casting a teleportation circle. It's just gonna be a minute. They just start drawing it as
underneath the pillows. They're just, like moving all the pillows away.
They literally just sweep. And actually, I would say you don't see all of the illusion disappear, but the floor illusion changes to just show stone floor. Like there isn't the carpet and lushness in here as they just take out a piece of chalk and very calmly just start sketching the circles that
A question in terms of like the detail of the illusion or like the level of it. Now that we can see it's stone floor, did the floor feel like it was stone floor? Did it feel like carpet?
Felt like carpet.
Okay, good to know.
Goro again will quickly, please, gentlemen, and motion for you to move towards the back wall. And the bricks slide open. As they do, you can hear somebody like, quick, they need help, quick, they're bleeding out, fucking open the door, like banging on the front of the, like round the front of the building. Goro points the other way and says, 3 alleyways that way, and you should end up on the main street.
Thank you very much, Goro.
Before they, without very much of an answer, the bricks close up behind you again. As you look back towards the front street where the noise is coming from, there are curtains moving, lights coming on in windows, big old ruckus being caused by whatever it is. You can't currently see who's shouting or who's banging. Which way would you like to head?
Away from the commotion, so like following the directions that we were given by.
And are you trying to be stealthy or just trying to move quickly?
Probably more trying to, what looks to Dante. What do you think? Quietly or quickly? Quiet's harder for myself due to my armor.
We've done nothing.
This is true, but it's more just to be in association with whatever's going on. So we'll go quick. If we get cornered, we can just say it was the disturbance that startled us.
Okay, you move into a bit of a jog. There's a tense 5 or 6 minutes as you leave that area and move again into the quieter streets, passing by some of the suspicious looking folk that had seen you previously, almost giving you another more curious eye as you come running back the other way. However, your journey back towards the Bloody Banner is unimpeded. And as you sort of make it onto a main strip, I imagine you sort of slow to a normal pace. As you sort of end up around people again. There are some, there's still, while it is getting late, it's sort of at the time people are heading home, and there are still quite a number of people in the streets at this time.
Yeah, just try and not draw any attention and just keep going.
Okay. You make your way back before reaching the Bloody Banner. Eleni and Volu, who would have they're still a little bit groggy, but they're definitely coming more round now. They're feeling a bit better. For Eleni, the group have been gone the two have been gone maybe 40 minutes.
So what time is it, Liam?
It's maybe about 20 to 8. Something like that, maybe a little bit earlier.
Oh, not as late as I thought then. Okay.
No, because you remember you were meeting at the Bloody Banner at 7, like at sundown. So
and did it take us only 20 minutes to get there and back, kind of vibe?
So it's like 10 minutes to get there. 15. Obviously, you were waiting.
15 minutes, yeah, like 10,
you were
15
waiting
minutes.
for 20 minutes or so. The conversation you had with Manamaraku was very short. You were sat waiting more than you actually spoke.
Yeah.
And then because you sort of hurried back, you've made it back in good time.
Lovely.
Okay.
So yeah, the sun has definitely set now, and the street lights are out in full. And I'd say for Eleni, over this hour, there's no one specific that's come in or paid any attention to you, but it is getting much livelier. You have seen a few different groups now, and even a few claiming to be races in the Doom Hakra, and sort of like bigging up their names and talking about some things. And you would hear that sort of excitement and energy going on before seeing Ichi and Dante enter back into the tavern.
Have I heard anything particularly interesting about the Doom Hacker? Just thinking about that we were talking about maybe getting a sponsor ourselves.
So give me a perception. Let's see what you've overheard.
I'd just love to say, like, all these races be like, oh yeah, I'm kind of win. But have you heard about this other group? I'm hearing some stuff about them.
Not long enough for rumors to spread that quickly yet.
That would be funny though. Sorry, hang on a sec. Sorry, perception. 15.
Okay. So you hear some people talking about like there's a lot of speculation. They're talking about like, oh, the track's supposed to go down into the caverns, and maybe people will lay traps. There's a lot of talk about how it's essentially no rules. So like there's people talking about like you're gonna have to be careful of obstacles being thrown into the road, or like you hear some kids like chatting about how they're gonna get like paint bombs and throw them at passing by vehicles and try and put them off and stuff. And you would also note there's not really any official betting, but there are definitely like between groups.
Mm-hmm.
So like you saw someone's like, oh, did you see the sign-up sheet today? I saw one called, I bet they're gonna be well quick. And they're like, oh, you'll have to wait till the day to see which one looks good, vehicle might be shambles, and like there's that sort of talk going around.
Yeah. Okay. So I would see Dante and Ichi. Well, you made it back?
Yes, surprisingly easily. The conversation was understood, received well. Hopefully they are going to be putting a word to the leader of the ones who were a little bit too rough with you two, and telling them to either back off or at least calm down.
Do you believe them?
I do. If if there's something I kind of have an understanding of from just interacting with this person, it seems like they prefer to have things done the easy way. The hard way is easy for them to do, but they still would prefer for us to go to them than for us to be dragged,
Okay.
especially if we are going to be aiding them. Speaking of, they seem to have an idea floating around in their mind as to what it is that we are going to be helping with, especially now that it's 4 of us. I'm not sure exactly what, but again, I was making sure to really stick with the more flowery words of a possible future partnership, not tying us down to anything, but at least trying to get the thought across that we don't want to start this relationship on a negative.
Of course, you were flowery.
I am
You know,
going to I'm going
it's
to
my
cast.
nature.
Yeah, I'm going to cast a glance at Volu, who's
I've
still
also
looking a
given us
bit
more.
groggy and a bit
I've
out of
given
it.
us more than just the night. I've said that when they are willing, ready and willing and able, then we will come to them. We should be receiving a letter in the morning of where to meet them due to the old place being currently occupied by other individuals, I guess. Some people turned up. I don't want to say anything else that would possibly lead people more to us. But yeah, we have some time, at least enough for our friend to get better.
To be clear, Ichi, I will not allow any harm to come to this man. You see, she nearly says boy. She looks at him and then says man.
To be clear, neither will I.
Good.
If this meeting had gone badly, I was fully planning on just taking the initiative and helping out in any way I can to clear 2 worths of debt.
That would put me in your debt. However, if this favor could cause him harm, I would need to consider that very carefully.
Of course.
Good.
I can't imagine it's going to be an easy job. I can imagine there
No.
probably will be some risk. But
And it would be his choice, but
of course.
okay.
But also know, as long as I am alongside you, I will do everything within my power to make sure you do not come to any harm.
Thank you. And thank you again for turning up when you did.
I'm not one to just sit by and let people who I have a fondness for be bullied.
Me neither. Sorry, Chris, stop it. Cool. I'm going to look around then and say, so, are we still going to try and find a sponsor? There are a few people in here who've entered the race.
Well, obviously Dante did some talking in the lower ends.
I think we might have some options coming our way. We still have 2 days? Memory?
Mm-hmm.
We still have a couple of days. We should wait to see what comes to us tomorrow.
I also plan on tomorrow heading back up to the factory, because there's a family the creator of I would get the name of everything up, but my computer's just started restarting itself because there was an update that I took too long to notice the restarting in.
It's House Glass.
Yeah,
House Glass, that's it.
Glass family.
I despise that. I'm a southern boy, and you guys just made me say glass.
Glass.
Glass,
The
yeah.
glass family.
Glass.
Um, they're the ones who started a lot of the construction on the is it Aether Stream that they're yeah, the Aether Stream vehicles. I did some work alongside my master with them, and perhaps if I could go up to them with under the pretense of a check-in from last time, I might just happen to say that, perhaps if what is it? I believe they're not happy about the fact of other vehicles are starting to take more destructive engines, I suppose.
Is that those smoky engines I've heard about?
Yes, they're terrible for the environment and volatile if too much damage is done to them. Perhaps if I'm able to use my words carefully, maybe they'll be interested in letting us prove to the rest of society why Aether Stream vehicles are superior. Maybe they have a prototype vehicle that they're working on that they would like the world to know about.
But where would you charge them?
Where would I charge them?
When you park them? What if the Aether power goes down?
I'm so confused.
But to be fair, Dante, your Arcana's good enough to fully know why that's not a thing.
I know. I'm being funny, but I'm just doing it in a straight pan.
Just the shot, like straight face, but the shoulders are moving as you're chuckling. Ichi just kind of looks. I thought you were smarter than that, and just turns back. Turns back.
Doesn't work.
In now my mind, I'm just going, and clearly you're not. Like,
I'm not. What? I have an 11 intelligence. I'm just average.
Yeah, he's not well trained.
I'm
But yes,
wise, not smart.
It's not like we'd expect you to be cracking jokes either.
Yeah.
I think that's actually got to be kind of a fun thing that I might just do the odd time.
Eleni and Volu, are you planning to stay here for the evening and get a room, or head back to your own place?
Didn't we already organise a room? Like
you guys did, I think, at this place.
I thought Ichi have one.
Yeah.
I thought there was already something sorted because you, Eleni, and
yeah, we're at the Rusty Bucket.
Yeah. So I thought.
Yeah, they got a room at the Rusty Bucket. You guys got a room at the Bloody Banner.
I think we would.
You were going to meet at the Bloody Banner for tea and stay here till late, and then.
And I think we probably will still do that, partly because I don't want the guys at the Rusty Bucket to think that we've abandoned ship, or I want to make sure that we show our faces there tonight. We can always make different plans tomorrow if we need to, but yeah, I mean, we'd booked for a whole week or something. So
that was it. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So you'll be able to stay, drink, and eat, and eventually.
Dante doesn't drink.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Having a lovely evening before finishing up and saying good night. Eleni and Volu, you know that you may be 10-15 minutes, maybe 20 tops away from the Rusty Bucket here.
Yeah.
The rain is still softly coming down, and you begin to make your way back. As you sort of get to the street and begin making your way up the steps towards the Rusty Bucket, the door behind opens, and you hear Dana say, "You go, hey, Lenny, are you guys okay?"
I'm going to cross the street and go over to her and say, "Yes, we're fine. Are you okay?"
Oh, yes, I'm fine. They broke some things and said they would destroy the shop if I didn't tell them where you were. Why were they? Why are you involved with such people?
We're not. They mistook my friend Clovis for somebody else. They've got him confused with somebody and didn't really want to ask questions. Can I pay for any of the damage? Is there
Oh
anything I
no,
can do to help?
don't worry at all. It's superficial. I'm just glad you are well.
I was very impressed with you smashing that thug in the face with that bottle.
Well, I might not have done it if you had not been there, but when he stepped outside, I saw my chance to lock him out.
You were very brave. So
She just sort of laughs it off and says, "Well, maybe some would say stupid, but either way, I am glad you are fine."
we are, and thank you so much. We think we know who's responsible, and we're going to deal with it.
Well, don't get yourself in too much trouble now. The guard are moderately okay in the city.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too.
They close the shop door. You hear the bolts lock behind it before being able to make your way into the Rusty Bucket. I'd say as you enter, are you planning to sit in? Are you just heading straight to your rooms? Obviously,
I think we'd
it's
probably
quite.
head straight up. We've had drinks and food and stuff, so yeah, we'd
I'd
probably
say that
go
you
straight up.
definitely notice there are some eyes and on you and some like, is that? There's those sorts of whispers, but nobody like outwardly approaches you or says anything as you make your way up and are able to head to bed.
Yeah, I would do my usual, setting up the alarm on the door. I'd be wanting to make sure the windows are locked. Leaving things that will make a noise if anyone tries to get in, etc.
Yeah, easily doable. So Dante, you muted. I'll jump back to Dante and Ichi. Anything you guys are doing before you head up?
I've got a question just out of game, which at some point, so like, I probably want to ask, but does anyone have dark vision in this group?
No.
I think Grundon did. Do you know?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Don't think I
Gives them
do.
traits.
Then maybe
Reasonable traits.
just whenever we're kind of, setting up, say, for this drive, as we are going down a fucking mine and sorts, something to be able to see in darkness. I mean, I'm a light will
I think
obviously.
Volu has light spells.
Okay, as long as we have something.
Yeah,
Is
he has the
Volu a
light
gnome or a
spell.
halfling?
Ghostwise halfling. I don't
Cool. So
think
yeah,
they
no,
have.
halflings don't
don't.
have. Gnomes do.
Yes. So
none
none
of
of
us.
you are dark vision. None of you can pick locks. None of you have dark vision.
This is terrible. We didn't plan
gonna
this
fund
at
this
all.
campaign.
We really
Everything
didn't
we
plan,
come up
did
to,
we?
oh yeah, it's locked. It's like, what do you mean it's locked? It's locked.
Yeah. Why couldn't you complete your mission? Locks.
Yeah.
We couldn't see what we were doing. To try.
Yeah.
I don't even have the light spell. I'm not even. Yeah. I know
I mean,
that
you do
Volu
also
does.
just have torches.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're
stand-
going to be used.
Yeah. But yes, so you Ichi and Dante, anything that you would do after these guys had left, but before you want to head up, or would you guys also just head up and get some rest?
Nothing immediately on Ichi's mind.
To be fair, I think Dante might actually bring that up. Actually, just to be like, we'll need to be able to see in darkness if we are to win a race through a cave and a mine.
I think depending on the vehicle, if we have a vehicle, some Aether streams have light cantrips attached to the front to allow you to see where you're going.
Maybe, but if that was to get covered or destroyed or anything with paint bomb or whatever, I cannot be driving something when I cannot see what's in front of me.
Oh, you're the driver, are you?
I feel like that is I am the most capable.
Have you driven one of these before? You're giving me the strong energy that you've driven one. For the first time, that silence is very loud. Okay. Well, We'll have to try and figure something out then, won't we?
I'm assuming, because to be fair, out of game, I'm assuming this is the reason I'm saying this is just, I think one of the questions we got asked a couple of weeks, well, you guys asked me a couple of weeks, was just like, maybe, because I was just like, what the fuck am I going to do on a car? And you went, is your Dex all right? And I went, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
You went, well, you're going to be driving then, aren't you? Like,
Well, it depends. Sometimes with vehicles, you take in terms of like steering and stuff, you take the stats of the vehicle. So sometimes they override.
The skill check is still always Dex, though.
Yeah, but
it's
it's just whether or not you use the vehicle's dexterity.
No,
rather than...
I usually run yours unless it's like a ship or something like that. Unless it's huge. But yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay.
As we go up, Dante's, God damn it, Ichi will say to Dante, it's been a few days and things have happened. Do you mind if I go over the list again with you? And would you like to do it in my room or yours? Are we sharing a room or are we in separate rooms?
Sharing a room.
Wonderful. Would you like to do it in my side or your side?
I prefer to do it in your side.
Of course. So as we go up to our room, Ichi will lock the door. Right. Pull out a journal, flick to the back few pages. You remember to give in to the spell, yes? Wonderful.
Yes.
So we'll flare their hands up over the shield.
Place his sword like in a corner or something like that. And he'll just crouch down.
Over the shield, down the breastplate, the sigil will begin to glow. Hold out the hand and the sigil will like embed itself into the floor and begin to glow.
What are you casting? Sorry, just for our audience.
Zone of Truth, I think.
Zone of Truth.
I allow it to wash over them.
What is your name?
My name is Dante Vickhausen.
How old are you?
Okay, fair enough. Wasn't expecting you to go for that. I am 267 years old. Was it 300? How old did I say I was?
367, I think.
367 years old.
Who is in control of Dante right now?
Dante Vickhausen is control of Dante.
In the past few days, have you felt any other temptation to let something else take control?
Last few days, trying to think. I don't think so. I have not. There is a pause for a moment, but I have not.
Do you want to lose control?
No.
I'm satisfied. And we'll let the spell fade.
I wish to ask you something, Ichi.
Of course.
After the events of the tower, when I did feel something, when I started to feel something, I would like for you to use your ability on me to try to block out what has been coming, might be trying to seep through.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be as effective as we want it to be, but we can give it a go.
It might also help for when it needs to be used in combat situation.
If you begin to lose control using my
Simple.
ability to...
if you use your symbol against me,
Of course.
and when it comes to in a more combative situation, like it did when we fought the things
And stuff.
and stuff.
The Darklings.
Dark-
Or when you fought the
Darklings.
Things in the
when you
tower.
fought the space creature things.
Mm.
In
Oh
the
no,
tower.
it was the Darklings. I meant. But we fought the Darklings. Your spell affected me then,
Yes.
and it could be it if it means that when you're in a combat situation with me, you may be hampered. We cannot have that. It might
Good.
also suppress anything that is trying to leak out.
So your thinking is my ability might help you regain control in a moment where it slips.
I don't know, but I think it's worth a go. I cannot afford. You cannot afford for anything to come out.
I appreciate your honesty and forethought towards this. I'm sorry for how this feels. And to kind of like give it that concentrated aspect, Ichi will kind of like go up to Dante, kind of like put a hand on the back of the head, and will release the his channel their channel divinity of the abjure, the extraplanar.
Okay.
Dante doesn't resist, and he lets out a terrifying howl.
Okay. You feel the spell wash over, you feel it permeate. And Dante, for you itself, the energy is comforting, but it also makes your entire inside boil. Worse than when you set on fire yourself, worse than when any of the flames engulf you in the past, before eventually that light subsides.
Like hands like on the floor. He's like pretty much like scratching the floorboards. Like
Ichi's over you, like hand on your back, letting you feel that I'm still there. Dante,
mm,
speak to me. Are you okay?
yes.
How do you feel?
Good. He's cold to touch. He has cold sweat coming off him. But he stands up.
Let's get you into bed.
Goes and just goes to he goes to sleep near where he's placed his sword.
Ichi will take a moment, like sat on their bed, looking over. What have we got ourselves into coming here? We're going to make this better, Dante.
I hope so.
Okay. And Ichi enters his trance. Everyone can knock off a long rest.
Yay.
Yeah, the reason I was saying to old mob boss leader about like just whenever
Yeah,
Volu
yeah.
is feeling better, obviously it gives you now like an opportunity for us to not do that
Oh,
this
yeah,
session, but maybe
yeah,
next
yeah.
time when Paul's back.
Yeah, they might not give you long, but
You know, like even if like in game, like this whole day is just
yeah, exactly. So very quickly, Chris, did you see Roll20? Sorry.
I have not been looking. Oh,
Excuse me, what are you doing there, Chris?
And
Don't you be doing shit. I know he's a dungeon master, but he has no real power over you. Feels very labyrinth there. You have no power over me.
Dante, if you have already, try to remember. I don't think you actually did all that much yesterday. You don't get your long rest.
Oh, what?
loving brilliance.
Fucking hell.
And Ichi, can you also just quickly check the Roll20 for me?
I can do. My computer is booting back up. I'll boot up on my.
Yeah, I'll roll real dice either way.
You wake up to like your pillow burnt.
Dante just stood over me on fire. This is normal.
Yeah, it's like that. This is fine.
Well,
This is fine.
I was gonna say he just did that whole zone of truth thing and never asked him how he was, heating up metal coins and burning complete strangers.
Look, I feel like there's an aspect of understanding that Dante has abilities due to the affliction.
And also the understanding that I don't necessarily know like what's happening. I don't
That's
know
true.
these powers. You've seen me fight and start to like kind of get fiery, but I have no idea what's
Oh,
that.
big roll. 25, 19 plus 6.
Yeah, look at me, I can do a big roll. Fuck you.
Hey, you'd get the same kind of modifier if you were using your investigation.
Okay. And okay, so Ichi, maybe 2 hours into your rest, you stir as Dante is sitting up in bed. They sort of stretch a little bit, like they stand, and as they stand and you open your eyes, they sort of see you looking, and they just go, "Don't worry, I'm just going to the toilet." And they sort of step away. Make me an insight as you. It's not normal, but it's also not unheard of.
13.
You're a little unsure, but then you look. They leave their backpack. They leave the sword. Like they don't take anything with them. They're literally just still in there, like what they were wearing before they went to bed. And they just very groggily and slowly sort of step towards the door.
Each will let them go, but won't go back to sleep, won't go back into their trance. They'll kind of sit up in their bed and just kind of sit and wait. They'll probably take out their journal and start just making notes about today and like plans for tomorrow, but we'll just be pottering about until Dante returns.
Okay.
I almost want to just say if you're gonna like start playing my character, just tell me to leave something or I'll mute you so I don't actually know what happens.
I mean, I'm not gonna. They're not gonna say what happens. Ichi, you were probably thinking a bit weird at like 30 minutes. 30 minutes, then, but then it's also like, do you go looking for them? Do you go search for them? Like, what's the sitch? And then you're not sleeping, but you're drifting as it's sort of, it's that late night quiet. As we come to the hour mark, what would each be doing? I won't say it jumps to hour and a half before.
An hour.
And again, remembering it's one of those, I always wonder about this. There's not clocks. So it's not like you can properly track that it's been an hour. It's just been a long time. And that's the other reason why sometimes I'm like, do you go chasing them? Because you might have like just perceived time as You know, it might have actually only been 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
either way, you know.
I mean, I could just be dropping the kids off at the pool.
Yeah.
For an hour.
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes a diet of lamb leg and meat.
He's
just
taking
meats
his
and
phone in with
stews.
him. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dear.
Falling asleep on the toilet.
Scrolling through ye old TikTok.
Yeah.
Isn't that just the watch?
Around like the uncomfortable hour mark of, all right, they said they were just going to the toilet. Ichi will at that point probably, like get out of bed and head to the lavatory. Just to give a little knock on the door.
You step out, you look down, you head towards the lavatory door, and you give a little knock. No response. Give me a perception.
Oh, 18 plus 6, so 24.
Okay, so you're listening, and there's no noise from inside the lavatory, but you do hear like a low voice and somebody downstairs giggle. And it sounds like somebody's chatting downstairs. And as you move back towards your door, you can hear Dante's voice talking to sort of like you can't tell what they're saying, but there's that low rasp that you've become familiar with. And you hear then like responding back the barmaid who must be on the night shift.
So, do you come here often?
Ichi, as they're not in their armor at the moment, will like quietly go downstairs and kind of
give me a stealth.
Poke their head.
It's not going to be hard to beat.
You say that. 11.
I mean, if you're using my info, then you beat it.
Yeah. I was going to say,
Dante
is not a perceptive boy,
and I'm not a stealthy boy.
If we're going to be a little bit kind of like flirtatious or kind of like cheeky chappy, can I play the spot?
Yeah, go ahead. You make your way down the stairs, Ichi, and the only two people in this room right now seem to be Dante and what appears to be a human barmaid who's currently just sort of sat at the end of the bar. There's like the pile of washing up that they need to do. Neither of them seem to notice you as you sort of come to the top of the stairs.
And there I was, standing there, blocking, like having to hold the bull by the horns to protect these children that were like just standing there. And he's holding her hand and stroking, just kind of like, you know, just like that. The kids wouldn't know what to do, but I was able to get them out of the way. And the best thing was I was able to save the bull as well. It was magic. You should have been there. It was a starry night, almost as starry as your eyes.
Oh, Dante, are you entering the Doom Hacker? I could come watch you. I will throw flowers for you as you set off.
Oh, you shouldn't miss it for the world. I plan on winning, and when I do, I'll do this symbol, and that will be me saying it is for you.
How long do you stay for this, Ichi? As it just goes on, it just continues. It doesn't stop, and the longer you watch, the worse it makes you feel inside.
So his whole so the manner obviously is very different to what you know of Dante.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
The smile creeps across his face, and he's far more charismatic than what you know Dante to be.
That's why Ichi is sticking around a little bit longer. Just because this is the most talkative Dante has ever been, let alone physically flamboyant.
And not even just talkative, as you sort of see like the progressing to sort of having a little dance. They sort of you see that as I like, and then literally, how long do you watch for? And I will tell you how much you see. You know, like
I will stick there for about 10-15 minutes. After like 5 minutes of watching that interaction, my interaction then goes to scanning everything around Dante. Any water or liquids that slightly begin to boil, any like when he's holding the barmaiden's hand, any time that like she kind of like brings it back and just kind of like shakes it, almost as if she wasn't noticing how warm her hands were getting. Anything that revolves around increased heat.
Give me a
So
perception.
I want to actually ask this and snip this bit out if it's like that. I'm not going to say I'm going to be like, oh, look at me, I'm doing fireworks or spells or anything like that. But can I dim the lights a bit if it's fire related?
I'm going to say no. I will explain to you why afterwards.
That's
fine.
I don't even.
There are things going on that Chris won't be aware of yet.
22 perception, 16 plus 6.
No sign of anybody. And weirdly so. Like, yeah, it's you were talking, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. Like, it is not late, considering it is like the nights before a festival, and the bar is dead.
I'll cough and make myself kind of like, I will start walking downstairs and cough, just let my presence be known.
The waitress will sort of look to you almost like, one second, Dante. And the Dante sort of, they look up at Ichi and give a wave, but also give like a, like, now the time, like, come on, dude. And like that sort of motion. Like, it's very calm and nonchalant, but they do go and sit down. The barman will sort of come over to each and say, "Can I help you at all? Like a drink, more pillows? Is there anything wrong?"
Oh no, nothing wrong. I was just concerned about my companion here, but obviously I have no reason to due to the wonderful company. Just wanted to make sure they're okay.
With the 22, nothing boiling, nothing odd, nothing signifying any magic or weirdness that is going on right now.
Anything about Dante's eyes? As like they're giving me this look of like, really? Now I am
and
not
actually,
romantically gazing into them.
Yeah, no, looks fairly normal. I mean, again, the mannerisms are slightly off, but also, and on this, you have seen Dante turn on charm when he wants to. Like, you have seen him talk his way and lie and intimidate. So you, as much as this is definitely weird, you've not seen him like try and pick up a girl before,
yeah.
but if it's for a purpose, he can. You've just not seen him do it at 3 in the 10 at night while you're supposed to be sleeping. Like,
just wanted to check on you, Dante. Everything okay?
Fine, my friend. Please, sorry to disturb your night.
You didn't disturb it. Just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Everything is fine.
Ichi will stand. You wouldn't be opposed to me doing the ritual again, would you?
They and there is no pause. They not a problem. I'll be up in a moment if that's okay. Just literally a minute while I say goodbye to my lovely companion here.
I prefer it right now, if that's okay, Dante.
They will motion for you to come down the stairs.
I thought he was already with me.
It's already down there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's in like I have you because I assume that you're still at the bottom of the stairs, almost like you're on this level, but I don't know if you didn't know if you'd approach. I
Oh,
don't
I
want
thought
to
he
see
said
how
he'd
I thought
you.
he
come
was
down.
with me. Yeah, I thought he was
Yeah,
with me.
yeah, I thought I'd come down.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I missed that. They motion for you to sit.
I've seen you act like this before, Dante, when you need to. But there's something about this that doesn't feel like you.
I understand.
Yeah.
I felt with everything going on, I needed something to relieve some stress. And kind of just looks over his shoulder at the girl.
Right.
I hope to say that is not unbefitting.
No, I'm not going to take away your needs.
As you're sort of sitting and maybe even do you have the journal? Because you did say you left all your stuff upstairs. So
I don't have anything on me.
So are
I'm just
are
in my
you just
clothes.
doing it without the journal, or because
I'm
also
not.
do you
I'm
have
not doing
your-
it because I don't have any spell slots. I was
Fair
planning.
enough.
To be fair, I wondered that. I was thinking that. I was just like, I don't know if you can do that again.
It
so
was
I wanted to-
call the bluff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As you are almost sitting and talking in this way, all of a sudden, like the one of the like half orcs from the groups that you saw sat here earlier, like bursting like, "Fuck yes, I win!" As like a dwarf and a gnome, like, "Fuck, you're faster than you look," and like 2 or 3 more, 4, 5, 6, like almost like all of it. And he's like, "You owe me a drink. You owe me a drink. You're all slow. Winner of the initial Doom Hacker race." God, he's just like shouting and screaming. Eventually, over the next 2, 3 minutes, 20 odd people who were probably patrons of the pub returned from a race.
A physical. Right? Did they
A physical race.
Love that.
Some of them literally like limping in, like old guys that don't look like they should be racing. Like, I was just trying to show those one young whippersnappers was Jesus, not for me anymore. And as they come in, people start drinking again, partying. The half orc collects their drinks from people that seem to have bet against them. And the barmaid sort of gives a look over to Dante, says, I'm sorry if you are all okay. Beers, and there's 10 beers for the tables, and it's like all of a sudden it just bursts back into whatever it was previously.
Ichi will stand.
Yeah, I'll just be like, Ichi, if you don't mind, this is quite loud for me now, and it's not as relaxing. Would you mind if I go back to sleep?
Of course.
Dante will get up and head upstairs.
Ichi, like, primarily stood. Then that kind of like demeanor returned to Dante, and they got up, and Ichi just kind of sits back down for a second and just sits for about 10, 15 minutes and just thinks before eventually returning to bed.
By the time you get upstairs, Dante is softly snoring.
What is going on inside you?
Nothing. No, I didn't say that.
Pulls out sword.
Okay, and we would all be able to wake the next morning.
Long rest.
Some of us feeling rested, some of us less so.
Do I have exhaustion now?
No, we have not hit to the point of it is not that you have not slept. it is that you have not had the right amount of sleep to have qualified a full rest.
Okay.
So if we go lots and lots of nights doing this, eventually it will start to impede on you. It's basically like if you're only doing 4 hours, 3 hours sleep a night. It doesn't feel so bad the first few nights. By the fourth and fifth, it starts to suck.
Yeah.
So you wake up feeling tired and a bit groggy, but I'm going to flick over to Eleni and Volu as you wake first. Volu stretches, moves a little bit, sort of disturbing Eleni.
How does he look this morning?
Better, still deep bags under his eyes, and the place where the dart hit, the wound itself isn't very large, but it's almost like black ichor around the wound that gives that telltale sign that it was poison. You can see the sort of bulged veins around the actual wound.
Even though we used a healing potion on it.
Yeah, it's not actual it's not like still damaged, just
Yeah.
the evidence of damage.
Okay. So I would ask him, I said, how do you feel?
Better, I think. Still a little confused.
Okay. We I don't know how much you caught last night. Ichi went and spoke to the madam, and apparently they will let us know when we can go and talk to them, but hopefully we won't be getting mugged in the street anymore.
That sounds good.
Yeah. In the meantime, we still have some research to do. I don't know if we want to head down to the Bloody Banner and see the guys first, or
Yes, and then maybe to the library and such.
yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Okay. You guys would be able to head down, get some breakfast. As you are getting some breakfast, the owner that checked you in the previous day sort of brings you some food. Says, "Birdie on the street says you were in some trouble yesterday. Everything all right?"
Yes, there were some very bad people trying to hurt Dana across the road. But well, between us and the guards, we managed to frighten them away.
Yeah, well, I heard this morning that the Tabaxi and one of the others was caught. They're apparently in lockup already. Not heard anything of the others, but the guard are pretty good.
That is good. That's good news. Thank you.
And they serve you some breakfast. You're able to eat before making your way over. Anything that you want to do specifically before you make your way over?
No, probably not. I might ask for I might actually ask, and I'm happy to pay for maybe some kind of sandwiches, like a bit of a picnic or something, because I've noticed that Volu eats a lot. So I'm sort of thinking, even if we could sort of smuggle some food into the library, that will keep him
Yes,
happy.
there's just a gold. I can knock you up a few
Yeah,
sarnies for the road.
happy to do that.
Okay, and they will be able to make you those. Again, the Rusty Bucket is a fairly quiet generally, but the few people who are in here are occasionally looking. But again, you can tell it's local whisperers rather than people like observing you. As we flick over to Dante and Ichi. Ichi, for you, obviously, you've been awake a decent amount of time at this point. Your trance would have ended a few hours ago.
You're on mute.
Are you
Can't hear
muted?
you, Matt.
Sorry, I'm muted on my mic.
Mhm.
As Dante awakes, Ichi's already got like a tankard of water next to the bed for them. And as they kind of like stir, I'm sorry about last night. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just got a little bit worried with everything.
It's fine. It was my idea. I'm sorry.
You do not need to apologize.
We should try again at other times. Hopefully it will help. When are we meeting the other two?
I don't think we organized a specific time. I think we're just gonna. I don't actually know. I don't even think they're coming to meet us here. I think they're just doing whatever they're doing. They wanted to go to the library, didn't they? So maybe they're going to go do that today.
Maybe.
I have some business I need to do in the upper area of the city. You're more than welcome to join me.
I can help, or I can try to carry on with our rumors. Did I when we did the whole how many days thing? Did I only say I'm only doing it for a day, or did I say I was doing it for the whole period?
It's up to you. You've done it for a day so far. It was a good first day.
I think I'm going to try again for another day.
Okay. Same level of places.
Yeah, as best I can.
Okay.
I understand if it might be a little bit less because last time, obviously, Ichi was helping me, so we were able to spread it.
I won't ask for a roll. It'll just continue with what you got earlier. Yeah, you only make one roll a week, so it'll just continue on.
That's
for
like
the days
another.
that
Is it another 10 gold per day? Is it?
Yeah, 10 gold for your days stuff. But yeah, so I'd say that Dante and Ichi, you're probably downstairs eating breakfast at the point that Eleni and Volu arrive, although I'll pause because Eleni disappeared.
If we're gonna snip.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, obviously, I think it was relatively known. Dante thinks, because he has no insight, he thinks you're like apologizing for doing your spell on him that he's asked you to do.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Ichi's insight isn't great either. So,
two people having a misunderstanding, apologizing to each other, and not knowing what the other one's apologizing for, so assuming the other thing.
Yeah, I just loved it. Honestly, I just watched that happen in real time. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eleni and Volu, you enter into the Bloody Banner and we'll be able to see Ichi and Dante eating their breakfast. Dante looks a little tired, but other than that, they all seem fine.
Just going to throw out there, I'm going to think Dante is a vegan.
Okay.
I don't think so. Like I've ever said that he's eating meat or whatever, but he's going to be real straight edged. Okay. Only drinks, say, doesn't drink alcohol, and only eats kind of greens effectively, and any kind of non-animal product.
Okay.
Good to know.
Cool.
Are you full vegan?
So I see you'll eat my kind, but you won't eat animals or anything. That broccoli was my uncle.
It's funny that broccoli is my breakfast.
But yes, the two you will be able to join up. Bloody Banner is much more quiet in the first thing in the morning. Although you can still see the evidence of last night's party, and it seemed to go on for much longer than you two stayed up.
Yeah, I would just sort of wander over and say, good morning.
Good morning. How did you and
Clovis.
Clovis. Again, I was there like Clover, not Clover, not Clover.
It's going to be canon eventually.
We all love Clover. all over this land.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a really good night. I think yeah, the wound is healing, and I think we're okay. We're thinking of just having a quiet day and doing some research though in the library.
Yeah, wonderful. I believe Dante wants to do some more spreading this name around, and I want to follow through with seeing if we could get a more legitimate sponsor rather than just some people who possibly overhear in the tavern.
Okay.
You know, spread ourselves everywhere so at least we have options and range, because for all I know, this can fall through.
Is there anything that we can do?
I wanted just to ask a quick out of game question. Do people prefer the chaotic embers over chaos embers?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I prefer chaos embers, but I would go if you
So
guys
that's
think
one
I'm yours.
vote each. That's up to Liam and Matt, I think.
It's not up to me. Nothing to do with me.
Whatever one Paul likes, I'll go with the other one and keep it a 50-50 split.
And then Liam will have to choose.
So there's the chaos embers and the chaotic embers.
Yeah. Well, because I just prefer chaos embers personally, but chaotic embers also sounds pretty good. So I like them both. I prefer chaos, but Emma prefers chaotic.
I think it feels like the embers are being chaotic, and that feels a little bit more like if we're the embers, we're being chaotic.
That's what I'm thinking. Like chaotic embers gives the idea that the embers are chaotic and the embers are us.
Whereas
Okay,
chaos embers sounds like maybe we're from a place called chaos. I don't know.
I mean, have you met me?
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, we'll do chaotic embers then.
Okay, so you will be able to sit together. Anything else that you want to discuss before you and do you want to set a meeting or anything like that? Obviously, if you're
We haven't got a letter yet, do we?
No letter yet.
I mean, I
if we
suppose we're planning on being at the library for at least a few hours, I would imagine. Maybe we say we could, I don't know, if you hear anything, come find us at the library, and if it doesn't happen today, we'll come back down here.
sounds good. Yeah, unless you hear otherwise from us, meet us back here.
Yeah.
We'll say 8 next time rather than 7, just to give you as much time as you can.
Okay.
Obviously, if you arrive earlier and we're here as well, then we can just go about our business.
Okay.
I will be out most of the day, spreading our name around.
Wonderful.
Okay. All right then.
Well, chaotic embers break. I don't. Are we the chaotic embers, or are this other group the chaotic embers? I'm still confused as to what specifically the plan is here. Are we
Dante just looks at Ichi and just shakes his head, gets up and goes.
Yeah. And Eleni's just going to say, we will become the chaotic embers. And then she gets Volu and leaves.
Ichi's just like sat alone at the table for like a second longer than they should be. It's just kind of there like, I'm still confused.
Okay, you will all begin to set out on your journeys for the day. Dante moving back towards maybe not pubs and taverns at this time in the day, but market stalls, shops, still aiming more at the lower end of the market, but still hitting businesses that make sense to be open at this time.
To be fair, I think so. Like the kind of areas where I think which will be most suited for sponsorship will probably be either, if I'm looking at either high end or criminal.
Yeah, so this way I assume the low end was to get to the criminal people, because it is likely that at least one of the back alley dealers or something probably works for somebody higher up that is going to pass on the information rather than you getting contacted by Hobo Dave. who saved up all his money just to enter this Doom Hacker.
Hobo Dave.
I was just like, firstly, that guy's a character
He's
now.
he's now a person. Yeah.
We must protect him.
And what is it? It's not Hello Dave, it's Hobo Dave.
Hobo Dave.
Hobo Dave.
Okay, so Dante heads out on his journey, spreading the word. I'd say Eleni, Volu, and Ichi, you would be sort of moving together, at least for the first section.
Yeah.
And again, there's that option from this lower Crucible area where you could either head up the main strip, I know where Volu is voting for, or you could take some of the steps up and sort of skip the Forge Ward and head straight into the Mythic.
I think we would take the easier route because Volu is still a little bit tired and not quite, on top form. So I think Eleni would be heading for the easier route as well.
Okay. You begin making your way up the main strip, and again you see more and more signs of the festival. Some of the shops in the Forge Ward, so there's some of the personal forges that you saw in the Forge Ward when you were moving through yesterday now have makeshift signs attached to them. Shops, they're not actually shops, but they know that the influx of people coming in, you pass some that are literally just doing armor repair and such, ready for the Doom Hacker. But you are able to make your way up. Ichi, obviously, once they make it to the Mythic Ward, you are heading on up further again. And as you make it to the Mythic Ward, you see the open spaces and all the nice greenery and the exotic plants. And there are the two main buildings that immediately grab attention, the library and the scriptorium. And in the grass area in between them, there's currently like a little bit of a stage set up. And there is currently a tiefling giving a speech to a small crowd of people. They all seem various degrees of profession and dress and all that sort of stuff. But you would notice they're all wearing this sort of twisted purple ribbon on their like lapels. And as you sort of moving through, you can hear them talking about while our time in office may come to an end in the next few days, we will be back once again. Our campaign for the new year begins. And it's very much political rally speech, essentially. I'd say that you would gather just from looking around that that the person speaking is our Prime Minister Alar Moonshadow, and they are the current Prime Minister who will hand over.
Can you spell Alar? Is it A-E?
Yes, I believe so.
A-E-L-A-R.
Yeah, Aelar Moonshadow.
Okay.
They are, as you sort of look over, they're a purple tiefling. They're wearing long, flowing robes that have the intricate purple design throughout. You guys you don't know him other than the fact they're Prime Minister. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't know anything outside of their stuff. Obviously, you will have heard that they were previously a headmaster in the Azure Academy that is here.
So that means he's a magic user as well.
Known to be a very, very cunning and insightful mage.
Okay.
I think so. A lot of the way people have talked about him, they talk about his dedication to fostering responsible magic users and innovative research, while also looking after the people. And it's a lot of what's got them into office is they're using arcane for the benefit of people, and that we shouldn't be just messing with it willy-nilly. We should be purposefully trying to create things. But yeah, you can stop and listen or go straight past. They seem to be they're in between. So obviously you're going to either one, the library and the scriptorium.
I think again, I don't think Eleni would. She might sort of, I don't know. She'd be curious enough just to look at the crowd and see who's who, but it's more out of just curiosity. I don't think she's massively interested in what's being said.
Mhm. Yeah, and you don't recognize anybody major there. And, there's a wide mix of people in the crowd. It does mostly seem supportive. You would recognize a few figures that definitely seem bodyguard-esque. Um, but again, they give you mage feels. None of them are like heavy armored or big weapons. But the way they're standing and scanning the crowd definitely tells you they're like security.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, I think even if we hovered for a bit, I think we probably wouldn't stay long, and we'd
yeah,
have waved goodbye to Ichi and
headed
head
towards the
towards the
library.
library.
Okay, so the library itself, so both the library and scriptorium are almost sister buildings in their design and everything. They almost mirror each other, so that if you stand, almost if you where the stage is in the middle of them, if you
Yeah.
stand there, it looks like it could be two buildings that have been separated.
Okay.
So there's like they're almost lopsided. So for the library, there is a left-handed tower, but not one on the right, and on the scriptorium there is a right-handed tower, but not one on the left.
So as if they
So
cut a
it's
building in half and split it.
yes. However, you can
Okay.
tell from design it is purposeful.
Yeah.
They were not buildings that were split. It was designed to look like uh, two buildings with one focus, as it were.
Okay.
Um, and you would be able to make your way towards the large grand library doors. As you head in, you would straight away notice that again, differently to the rest of Cadfesi, these buildings don't. While they still look like they were made of magic, they don't look like they were pulled from the earth like a lot of the other buildings. It's almost like more like where with the temple to Astera, where there's definitely been magic use in the crafting of this, but it's black, different stones and obsidians that like they're not from this land, so it definitely wasn't built here.
Okay.
And entering in, you come into a large foyer with a very long desk with three different attendants sat at it. All of them seem to have the same name tag. It's just, a library assistant.
Okay.
And as you enter, there is currently a human and a tiefling. They look to be mages, but they also look to be quite young. Currently talking to one of the attendants. You can sort of hear them saying like, "And for our classes, we need this book." And she's like, "Right, right," and she's sort of like helping them find something over on that side. And as you approach on the left, a halfling male says, "Hello there. How can I help? Are we students looking for something specific, or
Um,
just perusing for today?"
we are not students of the school here, but we are studying the geography of this world. We wondered if we could look at gazetteers or maps. Um, we have the names of some places, but we don't know where they are, and we're trying to find them.
Okay, are we historical or my have you been to our grand library before?
No, this is our first time in the city.
Let me just explain a few things then. So first of all, I will need you to sign in as they sort of
Hmm.
like there's a large book in front of them that they are sort of taking names, and
Yeah.
they say if you wish to take any books with you, we must take your name and the book that you are taking,
Okay.
um, and you are expected to return it. For your own knowledge, all of our books have location spells on them, so that we are able to find them should that they be stolen. Not that I am suggesting any such thing from yourselves. Um, once there are, however, parts of the library that are restricted. The reason I ask if you are students, there are some areas open to students. There are also some areas that require additional permissions before there are dangerous secrets that not just anybody could know. But for yourselves, if you are we talking historical or recent maps, both of which shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, I'd glanced at Volu, who I'm assuming would probably just shrug because,
Yeah,
don't know. I'm going to say, I think we should probably start with current, but there's a chance that these places are older. We just really don't know.
interesting. Well, Let me first show you to it. They sort of guide you over. So they'll guide you over to the area that is dedicated to geography and topography and those sorts of things. They will sort of show you on the shelves where the first set of stuff is. And they say, historical maps are three shelves down that way. If you need anything else or any other guidance, I will be at the front desk. Please do be respectful of the books and anyone else who is visiting our great library today.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And they leave you sort of in the shelves and the stacks.
Yeah. Can I ask, by the way, and I know this probably isn't going to be, there's probably not going to be any trace of an accent now after the thousands of years he spent in the Feywild. But I'm
Well, to be fair, he's only spent. There is I would say.
Because I'm thinking well, the accent again might have changed anyway, but I come
It
from
will
the
have
same
changed because
continent as him.
he's been gone 20 odd
Yeah.
years.
But
Not quite a that.
But would his accent and my accent be very different from, say, Ichi's, who is from?
Yes, but in the same way that like East American is different to South
Mm,
American and is different to like the continent you guys are from is a very large
yeah.
continent.
Okay.
So if you think Andon
So I can't
stretches
even
all the
tell
way.
that he's more from Andon than he is from. Sorry,
I'd say you
not
can
Tuil,
tell
it's wherever it is.
he's not from Tuil.
Okay.
You can tell he's not from this continent, but
Yeah.
it's the like Eleni's not necessarily met people from really north Giskia,
No.
or you know what I mean, or really south. So Eleni would be aware that there are accents you've never heard.
Yeah.
So they do have a different accent, and it is mixed in with that sort of. There's almost a different pronunciation sometimes in some of the words because they learned to speak Fey.
Yeah. Okay. I think then, like I said, I think I would possibly start off with, if there are any like gazetteers, where a bit like atlases where they have a list of all the places. And I'd probably start with that first,
So
rather than poring over maps to start off with.
can you give me a advantaged, because Volu will be helping, investigation as you begin your pouring through of
15.
Okay. And I'm going to pause and leave you there as you begin your search for information and move over to Ichi, who very easily and comfortably making their way up the street. The closer up to the bastion you get, you're noticing more and more of the festival signs. There's that, you've noticed this within the city of like, there's definitely an aim of funneling people down to the bottom to the crucible. But obviously, they're aware that a lot of their travelers are coming in from the other side. So a lot of the signposting and the like, welcome to the festival stuff is up at the top of the, or nearer the pass of the mountain. You notice the frames of stalls that are ready to be set up the next day that haven't quite been, they've not put items out on them yet, but the frames are all there. And you would be able to make your way up to the Zenith district and finally towards the House Glass estate.
Lovely. From my conversation the other day, was it given more the idea of like one of like the owners / higher ups will probably be in the morning?
Yeah,
yeah, because I left a note saying that I was coming.
Yes, you left them a note saying that you would visit them.
Well, if I will return to that same reception desk.
Okay. There is a different person at the desk. There is a dwarf male who is yes, how can I help you? Are you here for company representation?
Hello, I was here last night. I believe I left a message with the receptionist last night that I would be returning today. My name is Ichi. I am an Iris Knight. I'm one of the Watchers. I've helped this family before, and I'm just doing a check-in to see if everything is okay, if any business needs taken care of. I believe I should be having a reintroduction with one of the owners, or
Yes, I do have that penciled in. They are in a meeting right now. If you'd like to sit and wait for a moment, they will be.
course.
Um,
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And each you will go and like, are there like benches and such
yeah,
like
there's
in the
just sort of
foyer?
stuff. There's not a grand deal of it. Again, you get the feeling that the majority of people that visit them are like uh businesses that set up a pre-arranged meeting sort
Yeah.
of thing rather than just a drop in. Um,
Yeah, well, it's wonderful. I will take a seat and I will wait patiently.
okay. So, very quickly, Ichi, what's your master's name? Do you have one?
Let me scroll up.
Nice.
Bruth, Bruthe, Bruth.
Bruce. Okay. So you are waiting maybe 10-15 minutes.
Bruth Gallahorn, the Furbolg.
Galahorn.
Gallahorn, the Furbolg.
Mhm. So you're waiting maybe 15 minutes before the doors open and a very well dressed human exits. They seem to be. Sorry, 1 second. You see a fairly tall, muscular, and a little bit imposing of a man. They seem to be in their mid-40s, human. They've got short, dark brown hair, a very steely look as they pass an eye over you. However, you notice it it doesn't look like guard uniform, but there's almost like a mercenary contractor vibe that you get from them. There's
Mhm.
like, they're dressed in full armor, but they have almost like this a symbolized pin on their chest. Give me a history to see if you recognize the symbol.
Probably not. 11.
Um, so you don't recognize the symbol. So you would, however, see, so it is a silver raven perched atop a gold coin. And they thank you, Lady Glass. Your assistance in this matter will be most appreciated. You would hear a voice from inside, and not a problem at all, Gregor. Anything your family needs, more than happy to help. Now, however, I have a meeting, and as this person arrives, they're almost like, Bruce, darling, not Bruce. I
Oh,
remember you, but my dear, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Standing in front of you is again, similar age, mid-40s, maybe late 50s, average height, very slender, but with standing very confidently. Dark brown hair, long. However, you can see it's tied in a very practical fashion. Sharp and intelligent eyes that seem to be now that the situation is not what they were expecting, they are analyzing. You would pick that up very quickly as they're looking from you to the assistant. And they're dressed in very nice but also functional clothing. You would see that it's not like restrictive, but it is definitely expensive.
Ichi will stand. Hello, I am Ichi, and give like a courteous bow. It's a pleasure to see you again.
And yourself, this is
My
a
my
surprise.
my mentor sadly passed away, so I have taken on
Ah,
much of his previous roles, and well, I was on my way through the city, and I figured I would come and pay you a visit just to have a
well,
courteous check-in, just make sure everything
I
is okay, as I'm as I knew you and my mentor had a positive relationship, and also to pass on the news of his passing.
I'm very sad to hear that indeed. Bruce was beloved by my family. He's helped us on many occasions. Please come inside. Let me get you some tea and again, you would note that Gregor sort of stood and watched. And like again, it was more like he noticed her confusion and was just like,
Do I need to kick this person out?
yeah, like I'm just gonna stick around for a second. But at the point, there's like, oh, see you later, Sir Gregor, and they bow and head out.
Yeah.
They invite you in to a
Yeah.
very, it's not elegant, but well, it's not overly showily elegant, if that makes sense. They have nice furniture, but they don't have 4 bookshelves with books they never read in it. It's very, everything is very elegant but practical. As you enter into her office, she motions for you to sit down and gives you a cup of tea.
Thank you very much.
So when did this happen?
Oh God, what? In terms of timeline now, Liam, how long has that been?
Maybe 6 months.
6 months. Fairly recently, about 6 months ago.
Oh my dear, and I mean, Ruth was always very capable. What do you mind? What me asking? What?
A very dangerous individual from the fire plane. But
Concerning indeed.
I am in the process of finalizing that pursuit.
Well, if there's anything we can do to help in this pursuit, please don't hesitate to ask. But while I appreciate you taking up Bruth's business with us, we currently are not experiencing any troubles. As you know, we were here last time. Bruth helped us deal with the steam methods that were leaking into our factories. We have not had any other issues of the like since then. It's and very factually, but they're not like kicking you out or anything, but they're just like we.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Tell me, because I've been here before. I've noticed coming around the city now, there's a few more vehicles that seem to have smoke emitting, and like
there's a distinctive wrinkle and of disgust across her face.
I do have to say I was not too pleased, especially with obviously my nature, to the air that they emit is rather foul. What? Obviously, they're not competition compared to your vehicles, but when did this lot spring up?
Give me a flat persuasion. And I would say that with your passive insight, you definitely pick up there is a level of like, this is a little bit personal business rather than like open knowledge. And there's definitely that pause and hesitation.
Yeah. 16.
Yeah. It is something we have been dealing with for a little while now. My great grandfather, as you might know, created the cloud engine, and it appears that with the import of black powder from the Yixen, some I don't even know who, some backwater engineer has managed to create what they are calling the cinder smoke engine. The issue we are having with it primarily is that it is a lot cheaper to make than ours and doesn't require the expertise. But also the backside, the downside, as you've said, they are disgusting vehicles to be around and quite prone to explosion.
Yes, they did seem quite volatile. The sound within those engines did not seem safe.
Where we are struggling in a lot of places is it is favoured by those that might not be able to afford a cloud engine, and they are quite. I do not want to say simple to create. My brother often says that the things that are simple, the ones that are simple are the ones that are exploding. But it does not seem that hard to get hold of the parts to put
It's
one of these engines together.
not as difficult to construct with the intricate details as that of an Aether stream. Well,
and even that, unfortunately, we have to contend with their declaration of being involved in the Aether Stream vehicle. I do not know how much you know about the markets, but Aether Stream is simply any vehicle with a Zikar crystal and its own methods of self-propulsion.
I figured
now,
that the Aether stream was more of a subsect of the cloud engine. I didn't realize that was just the.
Unfortunately, before now, the cloud engine was the only method of propulsion. Besides, I have seen some quite intuitive wizards using different spells and wind and sails and all those sorts of things, but there was nothing before like our cloud engine.
Well, forgive me for in a more personal note rather than old profession. Myself and my companions were taking note of the Doom Hakra that's going to be going.
Again, there's a look of like, yes, why the fuck did he do that? Sort of like there's like a sigh of like, I wish it wasn't happening, but and an eye roll.
Perhaps we could help give you some advertising. Would you by any chance have any form of, obviously your main competition in terms of business at the moment is the fact that the Cloud Smoke engine is cheaper to construct. So would you by any chance be in the middle of constructing a prototype of a cheaper cloud engine? Perhaps we could represent you in the Doom Hacker and give you a quite noticeable public advertisement of why the cloud engine is in fact the superior one, regardless of price, even though perhaps you've got a cheaper option as well. Of course, this is very presumptuous.
She gives you another look over if you want to drop me another persuasion.
17.
Again, there's definitely deliberating as they sort of turn, and I wish it was that simple. My brother tells me that well, he has got his own ideas about what he wishes to be working on at the moment. They will sort of they give you another look, like I think I can trust you, and they will they sort of pull open a drawer and put you, they produce a bottle of whiskey or some other alcohol of that type, a drink for yourself.
Oh, thank you very much.
And they will pour a drink each. The issue we have is that we are not allowed to make a cheaper one.
Oh?
Some of our officials would see only those of a certain status own a vehicle of this kind.
I see.
The actual creation could be done a lot cheaper, but part of why they went with my grandfather's designs in the first place over his competitors was that he had included some very rare and very hard to acquire materials in the crafting process. This gave the government a level of control over the spread of this. You will remember they put regulations out on the Zikar crystals maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Interesting.
However, maybe something could be done. I think I do not know what we have in terms of creations. I handle business sides. If they write you a note, and sort of tear it off and hand it to you. They don't fold it. You're able to see it just says have a chat, talk to me later, and then it's signed L. That's EL, not L, by the way. That's um my brother is the one that does all the working on things. If there is something in the works that is possible, I know that one of his major concerns is that the cinder smoke engine is considerably faster than ours.
Well, maybe that's something we can take advantage of. Perhaps there's adjustments, or even we just highlight how volatile the cinder smoke is. We do not need to be faster. All we need to do is last longer.
You sit back and a small little smirk comes across their face as they're definitely pondering the idea.
But
You
there's,
say,
if anything, one thing people need with a vehicle, and that's reliability.
I will think on it. As I said, speak with my brother. If they think that it is possible, we
course.
might have something, but I would also need a day or so. Well, we do. It is at the end of the festival, at the very least. Let me. Where are you staying at the moment?
Currently, we're staying at the Bloody Banner. It was the tavern that I would normally go to.
Not a problem. Speak with my brother. I will speak with them tonight. They sort of call through. Algar, please show Dante here. Not Dante, sorry, Ichi here. Please show Ichi here.
You're not meant to tell them I'm here.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the man with the cloak over his head.
Yeah. Please show Dante to the labs where.
Ichi.
Oh Jesus, sorry.
It's because I was doing it earlier.
Honestly,
So
please show Ichi to the labs where Thaddeus is currently. Yes, ma'am, and they will sort of stand for you to leave at the office. They will say they put away the alcohol and the glasses, and I am very sorry to hear about Bruce. They were very kind, and despite what I had heard about your order, they had always been nothing but helpful and caring for the people of Cadfessi, and
thank
they
you.
will be missed.
Your condolence means the world. And hopefully, with myself being his predecessor, is it predecessor? No, predecessor is the one who came before.
Succeeder.
Successor, yeah, successor. With me being their successor, that opinion will not change. I know there are mixed opinions about my order, but I appreciate the opportunity to prove some of those wrong.
They nod and give a short bow, before allowing you to be led away by Algar, who takes you further into the actual facility itself. And pause on Ichi quickly as so Dante, quickly, can you roll me 2d100s?
I thought it was 95. It's 65 is one. And that is 4.
Okay, so about 4 or 5 hours into your rumor spreading, you do actually come across so you come across a group that actually are already talking about it when you sort of turn up, sort of confirming that your rumor is spreading successfully. And as you are sort of, you're doing the thing and you're talking away, and you hear over your shoulder somebody just sort of ask, like, excuse me, you mentioned that there is a driving team in town. Do you is it the chaotic? Yes, the chaotic campus. That's it. Do you know where they're staying at the moment? And as you sort of look, there is the older of the gnomes that was at the gates, having issues with the guards when you first arrived. And they are currently asking this other table that we're talking about it when you entered.
I wondered if we'd see them. Um, I mean, as part of the rumor, I'm telling them where to get in contact.
But the issue with rumors is they don't always pass all the information on.
Yeah,
You know,
Chinese
like
whispers.
yeah,
Oh.
well, yeah.
Okay, cool. I might kind of wander over, just be like, what? Where was it? It was that bloody Baron we said.
Bloody banner.
Banner. That. I believe you'll find them at the bloody Banner.
You've heard of them as well. And they are staying there the whole time.
That they are very skilled driver, but between them I've heard, and cunning, very cunning. Do you think that? Why are you interested in finding, supporting them? What's the word? Sponsoring them?
Give me a persuasion. As you ask the question, the demeanor changes as they sort of, you can openly, they grow a little bit suspicious of you.
Yeah, dirty 20. Oh wait, no, hang on. I've got +6 on that. It's 23.
Okay, so they're like, maybe we need to discuss some things first, but thank you for the information. They sort of like,
Yeah.
they will leave.
Yes. Like as they're leaving, I might just like say loud enough for them to hear. Be like, "Well, that's the third person today asking for."
Yeah,
Oh.
okay.
And just kind of
Okay.
be, and then just kind of something along the lines of, I don't know, I want it. I need to find a place to eat in peace, or something along those lines.
Okay.
Just so he hears it, but it's more like I grumbled it to myself.
No worries. And finally flicking back to Lenny and Volu, who, after poring over every single map gazetteer, there is no place called Halfover.
No.
There's nothing even that sounds like it from what you can find.
About half under.
I don't know if yeah, I'm only on a +1 intelligence. I was going to say Emma would know the sort of fuzzy matching and the sorts of things to look for, but I don't think that Eleni would.
No, I think with the sort of with the role you got, I think you could definitely conclude that maybe it's a lot older than you thought,
Okay.
and that maybe the name isn't dead on.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing in modern maps and nothing in modern mentioning.
Okay.
I'd say probably as well at the sort of, you've been there 2 or 3 hours, that the same halfling will sort of come over and say, so have you managed to find what you are looking for at all?
No, we haven't. I think we might have to start looking at some of the older maps. Do you think we should have a break? I'm going to look at Volu and say, would you like some fresh air? To the librarian, is it okay if we maybe go out and have a stretch our legs and come back?
Hey. Yes, that is part of what the gardens are there for. Exercise and fresh air can help the mind ponder over things that it is pondering.
Okay.
Please return any of the books and maps that you have placed out, but you are welcome to come and go as you wish, obviously to the public areas. The public areas will close at sundown, though, just so that you are aware.
That's good to know. Thank you.
And then again, anything I can be of assistance with, and then they'll head off.
I think we'd head out to the gardens, and I would give Volu. I'd get out the packed lunch, so I'd give Volu some food, and then I'd just say, "Are you sure that that's what your village was called? Could it have been anything else?
Just thinking. I don't know. I just remember there was lots of forests. It wasn't a very big place.
Was there a river? Mountains?
Mountains, but in the distance. That's what made me think that the forest that I had showed up in was right.
Mm.
My mum always said if you get lost in the woods, you head towards the mountains and you run to the village.
Okay. And you don't remember your mum saying anything? You never visited any bigger places? And any bigger towns?
No.
We'll keep looking.
As you sort of sat looking, there is a sudden burst of commotion as all of a sudden there is like almost a large crash and bang, and then the noises of multiple objects spilling out of something. And as you look over, one of the large, the platforms with the
Yeah.
Zikar crystals, one of them is like one corner is touching the floor, and it's currently spilling out like food and apples and just out of the crates that are like haphazardly tied on. And as you sort of look over, you can see a Goliath, a halfling, and a tiefling teenager currently sprinting away from it, clutching what looks to be like a piece of the Zikar. As most of the workers seem to be fumbling over, trying to stop what is a full low wagon of goods from toppling over completely onto the floor.
Which way are they running compared to where I am? Are they?
So they're running away from you. So if you imagine you're sort of sat with the library behind you, looking out at the gardens, and they're a good 100 foot away from you, like they're on the
Right.
main strip. They're running towards the stairs that lead down to the crucible. So like if they're not taking the main road that would lead past you, they're running through the back alleys towards where the stairs go down the shelf towards the crucible.
Ugh. I don't know how much she'd get involved.
As Eleni ponders what she is going to do, that is where we will end this week's session. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying the story so far, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.